Hello everybody, thanks for watching this video. Today I will unbox 13 plants from Ecuagenera. They had a sale and I just couldn't resist, so let's have a look together. Now the first plant here is the Anthurium trunkikola. Now it was labeled a seedling, but it seems already more like a toddler than a baby plant to me. The normal price for this guy is $20, but as I said, there was a sale, so I got it for only $15. Now there are no less than 15 different names for this single Anthurium, because it seems to have a lot of different growth forms. It originates from Ecuador, it loves high humidity, and it's a climber. And I have to say that the specimen that I received looks pretty amazing. I really like the particular shape of these leaves, so let's hope that I can keep it alive. Next up is this beautiful Philodendron Plomania, for which I paid only $15 US, which in my opinion is a real bargain. Even more so since it arrived in perfect condition with 4 undamaged adult leaves and a 5th leaf that's on its way. Now I already have the citrus version of this plant, but not the plain version yet. And I think that the Plomaniae is a philodendron you can't go wrong with. It's so easy care. It has this beautiful silvery color in its leaves. It's just a very classy houseplant that I definitely recommend to everybody. Now, after 2 plants that arrived in perfect shape, it's obviously time for a catastrophe. And this time the catastrophe comes in the form of this very sad Dalechampia spatulata F that cost me $22. And you can see that the plant is still holding on to 3 leaves and all the other leaves came off during the shipping. And as to highlight the disaster even more, it seems that another plant was hiding in here and it died by proxy, since these brown leaves look quite different from the green ones on the right. This plant is actually a shrub from the Euphorbia family that produces flowers that smell like toothpaste. So let's hope that I can keep this plant alive so I can smell the toothpaste in the near future. Okay, so plant number 4 is quite the opposite of a disaster. Have a look at this gorgeous Philodendron esmeraldensei narrow. That cost me only $25 US. Now I'm counting at least 6 glossy adult leaves in perfect shape with a lovely veining on them. I also see quite a few aerial roots there, so I would say this plant is in great shape overall. And I'm always amazed how Ecuagenera gets to pack these plants in such a way that they arrive undamaged at my place. And I think they did a great job with this plant. By the way, this plant is definitely a climber, and I will have to give it a moss ball soon because it's already growing a bit sideways, and that's definitely not what we want. Okay, let's have a look at the 5th plant in this batch, which is the Anthurium Friedrich that I got for $15 US. Now, some time ago I already bought a first specimen of this plant, and since I like it so much I just got a second one. And I really love these very thin and long strappy leaves. I suppose they can get much longer, since this is just a medium version of this plant. Now, I'm pretty new to Anthuriums, so taking care of these first couple of specimens that I bought will no doubt be a learning curve for me. Okay, so plant number 6 is the second Philodendron Plomania of this order, but this one is a medium version of the plant for which I paid $13 US, whereas the first one that you saw earlier in this video was an adult version for which I paid a little bit more. Now, there is a very specific reason why I bought 2 specimens of this plant with different heights. With just one adult plowmaniae in a pot, the bottom part of your pot might look a little bit bald. So by adding the medium-sized one, I hope to get a fuller pot altogether. And you can see that this specimen arrived in perfect shape too. So plants 7 and 8 I will be showing together since they are the same species, which is Anthurium Gymnopus purple, for which I paid $15 a piece. Now once again these were labeled as being seedlings, but they look already quite established to me. The adult leaves are beautifully heart-shaped, but I'm not sure why purple is added in the name of the plant, since I don't see any purple at this time, and last time I checked I wasn't colorblind. But who knows, perhaps the purple might show up as the plant matures. We'll have to wait and see whether this happens, yes or no. Now both these plants look very healthy, and what I like is that they have smaller leaves at the bottom and then the big leaves on top. So if I pot them up together, this should give me a nice full pot. And by the way, this is a climbing Anthurium that originates from the island of Cuba. Okay, now let's continue with a philodendron. So this is the Philodendron Vernieri CF, for which I paid $21 on sale. Now, in other videos on my channel, I already discussed the fact that Ecuagenera has some great CF or F versions of philodendrons, and this is one of them. It's definitely a climber, it seems to be in great shape, and I'm counting at least 6 healthy leaves and a good growing point, so I would say that this plant is off to a great start. Okay, our next plant, which is plant number 10 already, is this Columnea tinensis, for which I paid only $9. As you might know, Columnea is better known under the common name of goldfish plant. And although this plant lost quite a few leaves during shipping, I'm not worried at all, because I ordered goldfish plants before, and all the ones that I got and that lost leaves during the shipping, they bounced back quite easily after a couple of weeks, so I think this plant will be just fine, and if all goes well, it should give me yellow flowers pretty soon. Alright, it's time for another philodendron, which is, as you might know, my favorite species. Here we have a Philodendron Melanocrisem, for which I paid only $14, which is really cheap if you take into account that not so long ago the Melanocrisem was quite an expensive philodendron to buy. So prices for this guy have really come down recently. Now this guy here looks in perfect shape. I'll have to give it a moss pole so I won't get tiny midget leaves on this plant. Plant number 12 is this Anthurium Antiochiense CF capital A, a name which is quite a mouthful and for which I paid $17. Now the name comes from the department of Antioquia in Colombia, where this plant originates from. And in the wild it grows on rocks, so when I pot it up I will put some rocks around the plant to see what happens. It's also a plant that needs high humidity, so I'll put it next to my humidifier. Okay, the very last plant with the unlucky number 13 is this Philodendron Petulatum F that cost me $22. Now, this plant is not unlucky at all, because its 4 adult leaves survive the shipping perfectly, as you can see, and even the newly unfolding leaf seems to be undamaged. This is a philodendron native to Ecuador. It should have fuzzy petioles, but I don't really see that at the moment. But then again, it's an F plant, so perhaps that's normal. Okay, so now I will show you briefly all 13 plants together. What I will do is I will put them up immediately after this video, which might shock some people, but as I said in many other videos on my channel, in my experience this is perfectly possible, and 99% of the plants that I ordered online so far didn't mind at all to be potted up immediately upon arrival. Okay, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed watching it, please consider liking it and subscribing to my channel. For now, I thank you once again for watching and I wish you a great day. Bye bye.